definitely, like, if you have questions, please feel free to unmute or type in the chat bar. If you're comfortable and want to show your face, I think that's always more fun, but you don't have to. Otherwise, I'll just look at Audrey's beautiful face, and that's good too. But I am really excited. I love kicking off new coaches, and I know if you are like me at all, when I first started, I was so nervous. And I just felt like I had this tug on my heart to do this coaching thing, but I had really no clue what the heck I was getting myself into. And I actually did my first coaching post. I posted it at midnight and then cried because I was like, oh my gosh, someone's going to see this. So if anybody can do this business, I can. And so for those of you guys who don't know me, I'm Abby. I have been coaching for 4 years now, which is just insane. And I actually came into this business kind of a funny way, just to give you guys a little bit of a backstory. So I had been invited, and we're going to talk about inviting because that's a big piece of our business, but a gal had invited me from one of those like mom's message boards after I had my son to try this program that had just been released on the DVD called the 21 Day Fix. And I think probably a few of you who've done that program before, but I, at that point, was a brand new mom. We were not planning on having kids, and Caleb, or at that point, and Caleb was a total surprise. I had to go back to work full time at 6 weeks postpartum, and for those of you who've had kids, you know, like that's just, there's a whole lot of stuff still going on there. And I desperately wanted to have a system that worked for me, but I was super intimidated by meal planning, super intimidated trying to juggle life and the gym and all the things. I just didn't know where to start. And so this gal invited me, and I am like the dream client. I didn't ask her any questions. I'm like, sure, sign me. I could drink a chocolate shake. You'll teach me how to work out. Awesome. So I did that, and I did, I think, about 5 rounds of the 21 Day Fix. I never posted in the challenge group. I was the worst challenger ever, never showed up, didn't do anything, but I got results, and I loved it. She kind of faded away, and being the creeper that I am, I never used social media. That's a big part of my story, and something I'm really passionate about teaching new coaches to do if that's intimidating to you. But what I remember thinking one day is I remember being like, man, I'm getting kind of bored of recipes, and I have an Instagram account, and I know that people use Instagram to share meal plans and stuff like that. So I decided to go and search hashtag 21 Day Fix dinner ideas or something along that line, and I stumbled onto my coach's account, and I just creeped, like no joke, creeped her profile for 3 months. I never liked anything. I never commented on anything. Thank God stories weren't a thing then, otherwise she would have seen me watching her stuff every day. But I was so intrigued at how she was taking the workouts that I already really enjoyed and was doing something with it. And I remember I would go and look for her posts every day and roll my eyes at her, honestly, like, way to go, Melanie, glad you worked out at 5 a.m. again. Like, but I found myself kept being drawn to it. She was really positive. She was sharing about how she had a degree in special education and boys and was able to like work from home and all this. And I'm like, man, this really sounds super intriguing. So like I said, I creeped on her for 3 months. And then one day just was like, told my husband I'd been thinking about it. He did some research and I just jumped in. And I told myself, you know what, I'm going to go all in for 3 months. And I will do anything she says. I will follow all the training. And if I hate it, I can quit it in 3 months knowing that I actually legitimately tried. And my goal at that point, for those of you guys who don't know my story, I was a full-time working mom. I loved my job, but my son did not love daycare. And our money was really tight. We had just bought a house. My husband was working full-time and in paramedic school full-time. I had just finished my master's degree. Like, we had all the things going on. And really, we were just thinking, you know, if I could take these workouts that I already like, people are kind of asking me already how I lost the baby weight. And if we could get a discount on the products, because as a coach, you get a discount, which is awesome. Maybe I could make some new friends. Maybe I could make a little tiny bit of extra money every month. Like, that was my whole goal. And it really, obviously, within the last 4 years has changed everything. And so my whole passion, honestly, I love the fitness side, but my favorite part about it is this side of really helping you guys mentor, because I have been the recipient of seeing my life literally change physically, emotionally, financially, like in all these different ways, from someone being brave enough to share her story and teach me the same. And so that's what I kind of want to share with you guys. I have a little presentation. I'm just pulling it up here. Sorry, I need to make my screen bigger. And if you guys have questions, like I said, please, please, please feel free to unmute or type in the chat bar. But what I would love to do is just kind of share. I'm going to invite you guys in. There we go. share my screen here. And this won't take super long, but I just want to welcome you to our team. So the beautiful thing about coaching, first of all, is you get to make it your own. You get to take your own spin on things. You get to make it your own passion. There's no requirements in terms of purchases or goals to met. Like, you can do whatever you want to do. There's definitely benchmarks if you're a business building coach that you want to hit. And my job as your upline coach or your coach if you've got our team, her job is to help you hit those things. But really, the very first thing about being a coach is just working on you. It's just becoming the best version of you, which I think is really, really cool. So the very first step is just to get to know the products and to love the products. Do the workouts, drink Shakeology, like actually get results and feel good. The number one thing that everybody is always scared about is being salesy and spammy. And I will tell you, if you are genuinely in love with what Beachbody has done for your life or is doing or will do, that is never going to come across as disingenuous because it comes from the heart. So that is why it is so, so, so important to show up every day. And I will tell you, becoming a coach was the number one best thing for my own personal accountability in my fitness and in my nutrition, because all of a sudden I was showing up for someone other than just myself. I was showing up for my team. I was showing up for the girls in my challenge group. I had expectations on me in a healthy way, and that really helped me to level up in my own life. And so that is the very first thing, is to just commit to a program. So if you're able to type in the chat bar, I know some of you guys are driving and stuff, but I would love just to hear kind of what program you're doing or planning on doing, because I think that's really important to know. And if you don't know, then talk to your coach and we can figure that out. I'm personally doing 80-day obsession right now, and I'm going to start Morning Meltdown next in like a couple weeks here. So I always know, like, here's my next thing that I'm doing, and that's kind of the beauty, is we just have all of these amazing resources. So that's the really cool thing. Then the next thing about it is just to share that, and you get to tell people about that. And we're going to talk about what that looks like to post, but just sharing your lifestyle, your products with other people, and then helping them change their lives, and then helping them help other people. And it's just spreading that ripple effect. That is all that we do as coaches. That's literally it. You get to be someone's cheerleader. You do not have to be a fitness expert. I think, honestly, the term coach intimidates people sometimes, and I don't always love it. You do not have to come up with the workout plans and the meal plans and the macros and the lifts. We have all of those amazing resources. What you get to do is you get to share your real life story and your real life journey and encourage other people in their real life stuff. And I will tell you, in the last 4 years, we've had so much thrown at us. And I know that everybody's different, but for me, leaning into this business, leaning into my team, getting brave and vulnerable and sharing things like, and again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but sharing things like a miscarriage journey or hard things in just motherhood and sleepless nights and all that, that is relatable to people. And that is where people really start to connect with you and be like, gosh, if she can do it, I can do it. And it allows people to feel empowered. So that's kind of the very, very first thing. Resources, we'll talk about these things. A lot of you, when you signed up, should have gotten a little tutorial from Beachbody on the Coach Online Office. And I'll show you a little bit about that today. Our team pages, again, you'll get added to those things. And we have calls on Mondays and Tuesdays that you'll see invites to. These are always recorded. If you can be on them live, I think that's always the best, but you do not have to be. YouTube and Google literally are your best friends. I spent so much time on YouTube and on Google as a new coach. There is so much in our team page and in their upline coach can share with you, but also what's really cool about this business is the top coaches and the most successful coaches have all recorded everything. And so you can literally find like how to use Instagram for Beachbody, and there's like 20 million videos that pop up, and boom, you can learn. So we have all of these resources at our fingertips. And then every Monday morning at 8 a.m., Beachbody does a national wake-up call, which I love. I actually never listen to them live, but I always catch the podcast. I'll listen to it when I'm in the shower or driving, or it's on the Facebook page, and I'll show you guys that too. So let's talk about kind of like what you actually do as a coach. So there are what are called the 4 vital behaviors. These are what you live and die by as a coach. And I want to break this down for you and show you a tracker as well that will really help you. So the first thing we've already talked about is being proof the products work. Do the workouts, actually use the nutrition programs, There's so many different options that you can do. Like, do you do 2B mindset? Do you love the containers? Maybe you can't have Shakeology, but you like beach bars or whatever it is. Like, just do that. Share your story, connect with others, invite them to join you. That's the scary one for a lot of people, and we'll talk about that. Starting conversations, be a normal person. Doing personal development. This is one of those things that I did not do actually as a new coach. I didn't think I needed it. And I will tell you, it has been the biggest game changer for my mindset, because mindset is everything in this business. And so 2 really great books to start out with if you have never done personal development before. One of them is called The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. It's about $10 on Amazon. And that really talks about how those little behaviors that you do with consistency every day add up to big results. And that was the very first personal development book that I read as a new coach. I always recommend it. It's a really, really, for anything, for your marriage, for parenting, it's a great book. The second one is called You Are a Badass. And that one is really good if you struggle maybe with confidence, maybe with feeling like people don't care what you have to say and how does your story matter, like just that kind of getting over yourself. That is a really good book for kind of a kick in the pants. And then the other thing that we do is recognition. So we celebrate stuff. We celebrate big on our team. We celebrate our challengers. We shout people out, and that's a big piece of all of that fun stuff. So what I want to show you guys really quick is a cool resource, and you'll see this talked about a lot, but in your back office, under training, you'll see the Success Club system. And in that is the system activity tracker. It's called the Business Activity Tracker, or the BAT. This you can print off. This is actually a fillable PDF if you're more of a computer girl instead of a pen and paper. But this is what I live and die by. There is no secret sauce to this business to being successful. I literally follow these check marks every single day. This is all I do. So it's that exact vital behaviors that we've talked about broken out. So did I do my workout? Did I drink my shake? Did I connect, invite, and follow up? Did I help get people results? And did I do my personal development? And what I love about this is that it actually breaks it down into time limits. And we'll talk about this on our weekly calls, because we're going to have weekly calls you guys can tune into about kind of how to manage your time well. But I don't want you spending 8 hours a day on coaching. I would love to personally, but I don't have time, and I know you guys don't either. So this really helps you break out where you should be spending your time and where it's going to be kind of like overkill and fluff. And so we're going to go through all of these. I don't expect you guys to know exactly what all of these are. Like, we'll break this down, but I just want this to be in the back of your mind. So this even gives you some ideas to talk about in your Instagram stories and in your posts. Connecting with people, right? Recognizing achievement, all of that. So this business activity tracker is going to be your best friend. It's going to be your guide map, and it's what I use to this day still as a coach. Your very first goal as a coach is to help 3 people get started the same way that you did, with a program and Shakeology or the Performance Line, basically called a challenge pack. This is what is called Success Club in the Beachbody world. And like I said at the beginning, there are no requirements. There is no you don't do this, you get kicked out of coaching or anything like that. But Success Club is really your benchmark to success if you are looking to actually build some income. And even if you don't care a ton about income, if you're like, I just want to help all the people, this will still do that for them. And basically, helping 3 new people a month, every single month, is your kind of bare minimum benchmark goal. But there's some really cool perks that come along with it if you're someone who's motivated by prizes or incentives or just knowing kind of why you would want to do these things. So the very first one is, as a brand new coach, if you help 3 people every month for 3 consecutive months of your 4 months as a coach. So it would be months 1, 2, and 3, or months 2, 3, and 4. Yeah, that's right, consecutively. You earn your free ticket to Summit. So you guys are going to see a bunch of us from our team head to Indianapolis this week, and you're all going to have FOMO because it's just really, really fun. It's a really amazing event that even introverts like myself get poured into. Rachel Hollis is going to be speaking. We're going to have all sorts of fun team parties and dinners, and it's just a blast. So you actually earn your free ticket to that for next year. So that's a really big one. If you do that for 12 consecutive months, you earn a free vacation for your family. So I just got to take Ben and the kiddos on an all-expenses paid cruise to the Caribbean this last spring, which was a blast. Be able to take Caleb swimming with the dolphins, and it was just something that we could have never done on our own. That was a really big blessing to our family. And so that is another big one there. And then also it means income coming in. And my goal again for you as a new coach is that you would earn back the cost of your challenge pack, but that you would also start making income your first few months. And so that's why we always have this be a benchmark. Now, when I was a brand new coach, my first 3 people were my friend from college, another friend from church, and I actually signed my husband up as a coach to hit Emerald rank, and we're going to talk about that. But I wanted to go to hit that first rank as quickly as I could to unlock some more compensation plans. So he wasn't really a challenger, like he kind of did the workouts on the side, but I had my 2 girls and I plugged them into the group that my coach was running. So that is how I hit Success Club as a brand new coach. And we'll talk about what those invites look and things like that. But really what I did is I just started sharing my story. I just started sharing my journey, and as people liked those posts and as people commented, or I didn't have stories back then, but now as people are watching stories, I just connect with them and just say like, you know, hey Sonia, thank you so much for the love on my post. I really appreciate it. Are you ever interested actually in the challenge group starting this next month if you want more info? When I was a brand new coach, I actually messaged and emailed a whole bunch of my mom friends who had kids 2 and under, because that was like where I was in life. And I just sent, you know, sent them a big message and said, hey, I don't know if you've seen what I'm doing as a coach, and this makes me really scared to even invite you to, and I just owned that. But I'm actually doing a group for just moms with toddlers. And I would love, like, these workouts have really helped me so much, and I thought it'd be fun to do with a whole group of friends who are in a similar point of life, and we can share, like, healthy kids recipes and workouts that you can do in 20 minutes, and it's going to be awesome. Would you like more info? So that was even like before, that was like a private reach out behind the scenes, but it wasn't a cold spammy message because they were girls that I knew and we were all in similar seasons. And so connecting and inviting with people, it can be scary, but it's honestly such a gift. And I get excited to send those invites now because I know how my life has changed. And I know that when I share about it, it's from a place of genuine like appreciation and gratitude. And so we'll talk about that, but this really is one of your first goals. And so this would be an example of a post where I kind of was announcing, hey, I'm running a challenge group. So we have a lot of these examples in our new coach training that most of you guys, if you're not already in it, will get added to through a really cool app. But I kind of share, at this point I had some results. So this was for a program called Lift 4 that I did last summer after I had Paisley, and I was starting from ground zero again. And I talked about, you know, hey, if you're ready to change from the inside out, want a plan that's doable and doesn't restrict you, and workouts that are fun, a community of supportive friends, this might just be for you. My August boot camp is filling up, and you can absolutely jump in, you know, blah, blah, blah. So I actually give them a call to action, drop an emoji below, or, you know, whatever. And I kind of share not just like, oh, do this workout with me, but I talk about how it's changing me and how it's growing me. And so that's always really the biggest thing, is not just to be like, I worked out today, but really sharing your journey behind the scenes. So in those conversations, and again, we'll dive into this a whole lot more, you're just being a normal person. You're just making connections. People are going to say no. People are going to ignore you. Slow down, reach out to your upline. Like, don't just like word vomit on people. Have normal conversations. And if you don't know what to say, don't say anything and connect with your coach. And they will help you have those conversations in a way that feels authentic and sustainable. So it's not about just sharing your journey. It's not about just fixing your needs through them, but really kind of reaching out and seeing where they're at and what their needs are. And again, we have so many examples of these conversations in our new coach stuff. So you don't have to memorize all this now, but I think it's just important to have in the back of your mind. Your second goal as a coach, and we're going to talk about this again a little bit more in depth, is to hit Emerald. And basically, if it's kind of too complicated to get into on the very first call, and I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but unlocking the compensation plan is one of the biggest goals that I have for you guys. And as a new coach, it's a very realistic and reasonable goal to hit that in your first 30 days. And basically, all that means is that you have 2 coaches underneath you, 1 on each side. You don't have to understand what that means right now, but you just need to know that it's important. And so I actually hit Emerald, I think like 2 weeks in, and I signed, like I said, I signed my husband up, and I signed up a gal who wanted the discount. She wanted a discount on her products just like I had, and I was like, perfect, boom, there you are. And all you need to understand at this point, because we're going to get into this in more depth, is just that as a business owner, which you are now, Might sound scary, but it's really exciting. The best thing that you can do for your business, first of all, is to unlock a compensation plan. And second of all, is if you are married, to put your spouse in a prime spot to build income. Ben actually doesn't really grow, like he supports me 200% and actually helps me so much behind the scenes, but he's not like a active coach, but we're able to use his account in a really cool way. And so I just want to put that bug in your ear. We will get into kind of all of the hows and the whys of this, but I just think it's important to know right away as a new coach, if you're goal oriented, that this is a goal that you want to hit. So let's talk about social media. Before I talk about that, do you guys have questions on anything so far? We're going to keep this like short, but I don't want to overwhelm you. So is there anything? You guys feeling good? Yeah? Okay. So this is like some screenshots of my Instagram page. Actually, mine isn't this pretty right now. This is like re-inspired me to make it more pretty. But when you become a coach, you don't just become a Beachbody robot. Nobody wants to see you just standing there or posting a picture of Shakeology, it's $30 off this month or what. Like that is the ultimate spamminess. You are you, and you have amazing interests. You might not feel like it, but you are a really cool person, and people are going to connect with you, and you are going to be the best coach to the people who resonate with your story, because they're going to get you. And that is how you build a team. That is how you start to grow. And so sharing all aspects of your life and your journey is super, super important. And we're going to dig into this a little bit in new coach training, but I always like to think of like, what are your 5 things? You know, are you a mom? Are you a wife? Are you an insane meal prep queen like Audrey, who's on this call, who like literally blows my mind with her meal prep? And go follow her, Relentless Robe, on Instagram. She's insane. It's amazing. Do you love painting, photography? Are you a closet bachelor fan like me, and you get embarrassed to admit that you like it, but it's like a funny thing you talk about? You know, do you have a dog? Like, do you like hiking? There's other things about your life, and people like to connect with that. So make sure that you're sharing those things. So if you go into my Instagram feed or you follow me on Facebook, you're going to see my family. You're going to see my faith. You're going to see me talk about that I love ice cream and bread and chocolate. You're going to see me talk about the fact that my kids don't sleep, and that's been a big part of the last season. Like, there's more to you than just your social, like just your coaching. And so it's really important to share that, and we'll talk about that more, but I want you to think about that. It's sometimes a little bit hard to dig into and start to think like, what do I post? So workout clips, your daily life, product use, like not being spammy about it, but kind of creating interest. So yesterday I actually did some stories, and I was talking about how Paisley is really picky, and she was drinking Daily Sunshine, which is an awesome kids shake that Beachbody has. Got a full serving of fruits and veggies. I just had it in her little sippy cup. I didn't have the bag out, but I just posted. I was like, I love that I can sneak a full serving of veggies in here and some protein, and she doesn't know the difference. And I had 3 different moms message me like, what is that? My toddler's struggling with the same thing. That was just me sharing something that I loved. It was creating interest, but it wasn't like Daily Sunshine, half off, or anything like that. Healthy meal prep tips. Post that invite or promote or a call to action, things that you love, like where, you know, are you awesome at closet organization or DIYs or whatever, like just all of those things are things that you can post about. And so some examples for you, like Katie Ursa, she's an awesome coach, and she really talks about in her page a lot the highlight reel and body positivity. So like her posts are always her cancer journey, like she's really awesome with that. And I know that if I go to Katie's page, I'm going to get encouragement, I'm going to get inspiration, I'm going to hear of someone who really overcame a lot of odds from stage 4 cancer, like all of that. I know that if I go to Megan, if I can find her, Megan Blinka, she's, oh, wrong page of hers. Hold on. I know that Megan, she is an accountant. She also is kind of like a stud athlete. And I know that when I go to her page, I love her basement wall. I'm going to hear about mom life and her kids and her kids. Like, she's just super consistent. I can scroll through there. I know if I go to Ashley Smith's page, and you'll see like everyone has different styles, all of that. It doesn't mean that you have to have like the perfect, like hers are all kind of filtered differently. If I go to Ashley's page, it's going to be a lot of like her pregnancy journey, her mom life, what she's learning, just stuff like that, like just kind of her real deal travel thing. I know if I go to, let me see here. I'm just kind of showing you guys just different examples here because I think that it's really important. Raina, and if I go to her page, she's going to be tattooed up. I know she's going to be sharing about her journey with colitis and the fact that she actually has her intestine removed. I know she's going to be sharing like that. So there's lots of different ways that you can share about stuff. It doesn't have to look like someone else's, but it's important to start getting yourself out there. My page, you're going to see a lot about my kids. You're going to talk about body image. We're going to talk about healthy muff. I mean, it's just kind of like my real life behind the scenes. And I post about once, maybe twice a day on my feed. That is all that I do. And I make sure that that post is quality and the picture is light, bright, and eye-catching. I use a filter on Lightroom. We'll kind of talk about apps and stuff, but I do make sure that I put thought into it. So if I post a picture of food, it's not going to be dark and grainy and gross looking. If it's kind of like a random snapshot, that's going to go in my stories. But on my feed, I want it to look, so I kind of view it as like my magazine that's going to kind of connect people, and people are going to click and be drawn to like, okay, what is this? What is her story? So this is about motherhood. And I do a little jab about coaching in here, but it's really more about my kids, stuff like that. And then my stories are where the hot mess action happens, and you guys follow it. You know, it's just always crazy. You never know what's going to show up in there. And so it's like workout clips every day. This was a story series I did last night about Summit, so I was talking about coaching a little bit. This is me talking about how my kids don't sleep. You know, like you just kind of get the real deal. Other moms message me about this one, like, oh my gosh, cream of wheat, it's so hard to clean up too. Like just kind of sharing the real. I don't even talk about Shakeology here, but I make sure to share it. Like I show it every day that I'm drinking it in some form. Just kind of those types of things. So when you think about sharing your journey on social media, it's really going to be a mix of all of that and all that. So you can see, this is an example. This was one of my very first posts as a coach. Guys, look at how terrible it is. The photos are terrible. The lighting is terrible. 4 more days, $10 off. Like that is exactly what you should never, ever, ever, ever do. And so this is how I was posting 4 years ago, guys. So if I can be successful at those terrible posts, you can too. But then in this post, it's my family. It's a more eye-catching image. It's the caption. I don't think you guys can read it from here, but it just says, Paisley slept through the night. And that, if you've been following me, you know that's a really big deal because she doesn't sleep. And I talk about how my workouts have been my sanity through that. And as a new mom, how that has been so transformational to have something that's for me. So that is sharing your story. That is connecting with people. This is spammy and salesy, and nobody wants to see it. So can you guys see the difference there? Like that. So it's something that you will get better at, but there's lots of ideas. And so if you were a new coach posting right now, you can talk about where you're starting from. You don't have to share a transformation. And I think one of the things that's really important to know is you can do it however you want to do it. If you're not, I would say definitely take before photos as you commit to a program. But if you're not comfortable posting in a sports bra, you don't have to do that. You can do it how you want to build your business. You can share how you want to share it. Reach out to your coach if you have questions on that, but just know it doesn't have to look like everybody else's. You do have to give it that consistency and grace and patience with it. So that's kind of the first thing. I'm gonna look at something here really quick. While I'm looking something up, do you guys have questions on this at all that I haven't covered yet? You guys can feel free to unmute if you do. Okay, so one thing that I think is really cool is we are launching a new program. And so I want to give you guys an example. If you're doing Morning Meltdown, but this honestly could be for any program. And I didn't have time to recreate these slides, so I'm just going to share it from this presentation. But this would be an example of things that you could do for Morning Meltdown or any program. Looking for 15 more busy women to sample a new workout program before it launches, because we have a free sample workout that you can just send people. Thinking of sharing your journey, and I would say this for any of you with any program with a creative hashtag. So for me, I'm doing mornings are for moms, and I'm really fighting to get my mornings back, and I'm talking about that. And then once I start this workout, every 100 days, I'm going to show up every day and share a healthy tip or a life lesson I'm learning with that hashtag, sharing the workout and things you're learning through the process. All of those types of things I think are really, really important. And so if you were going to do Morning Meltdown, thinking through as you start as a coach, say like, hey, I'm so excited. I'm about to commit to 100 days of workout. How crazy is that? I'm really excited though. It's set to a live DJ beat. It's going to be a really fun program. I'm kind of scared. I'm looking for somebody to do it with me who wants to try the program for free. And then you can send them that free link and boom, there you go. Like you have people that you can connect with and follow up with. And you can do that for any program. You can say, you know, hey, I'm about to commit to 21 days. They're 30 minutes long. I'm looking for some accountability friends. It doesn't have to be this whole like huge coach announcement post if you don't want it to be. You can have it be simple and sweet like that. So that would be one example. And to get to the free workout, just so you guys know, if you go to your Coach Online office and you go, and you don't have to remember all of this right now, in product tools and shareable media, there is a Morning Meltdown 100 one. And if you click on that, I know a lot of you are doing this, it actually has the free sample workout right here. And you can just copy that link and email it to them. And boom, there you go. So that would be one option that you could do there, which is really, really fun and really, really simple. Or you can do more of a post that says, hey, I'm really excited to start this coaching journey. And we'll have examples of that again in new coach training, which you guys will get added to. But I think it's just good to start thinking about how do you want to share. I would choose, if I were you, I would commit to growing through either Instagram or Facebook. You could totally do both. I started on Facebook. I do things primarily through Instagram now, but you can kind of do either. But just committing to how you want to share and then knowing, okay, I'm going to do 1 to 2 posts a day, and I'm going to do at least about 10 stories a day. So stories of some workout clips, meal prep tips, your daily life, if your kids are cute, if you're traveling, like whatever it is, just kind of take people on that journey with you and know that at least 1 or 2 of those clips every day is going to have some sort of a call to action so people know that they can join you and they can jump in with what you have going on. Does that make sense? Is that helpful? Hopefully. Okay, so then I wanted to show you, if I can find it here. Nope, that's it. Okay. Basically, to kind of wrap this up a little bit for you guys, is I always think about the business, and you might be overwhelmed right now, but overwhelmed just basically means that you don't know where to start and you don't know what to do. So we're going to keep this simple. But I really like to kind of think of it, because a lot of you come from this from a place of workouts, is they're very, very similar. Just like getting in shape doesn't happen overnight, so does growing a business. And any job that you start, you're going to, sit down, or a new class or something like that, you're going to spend somewhere between 3 to 8 hours sitting and learning that material every week. And with coaching, you're spending maybe 30 minutes to an hour a day on this. And so first of all, you have got to give yourself grace and know that when you start something new, there is a learning curve, and to not get discouraged from that. You have to know that you are going to fail forward, you are going to make mistakes, you are going to feel like it's hard. That is normal and a part of the process. And so I just want to get that out of the way now. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. My very first 3 weeks of coaching, guys, I had $0 paychecks. And I remember my very first paycheck was week 4, and I got $50, and I seriously cried. I couldn't believe that I got paid to help someone. I was like, this is the best gift ever. But there was 3 weeks of not getting paid in there, and me like making terrible posts like you just saw. So the other thing is you have to track it to see success. Just like in your fitness, you have to track your weights. You have to pay attention to what you're eating. You have to learn what your body's doing. You also have to track your business, which is why we love that business activity tracker that I showed you guys. Oftentimes, if you're not growing how you want to grow, it's usually because something on there isn't happening. And so that's where you want to be sharing that with your coach and making sure that you're kind of growing in the right ways, that you're spending your time on the right activities that will grow your business, and not just spending 3 hours kind of scrolling social media and liking people's posts and saying you worked for the day and then getting discouraged when your business isn't growing. You have success that's twofold. So with fitness, you can always see the little wins inside where you didn't eat all the chocolate chips in your pantry. And then there's the public ones where people are like, oh my gosh, you look amazing. There's also that with your business. You're going to have the milestones that you hit that get recognized by the company, but you're going to have private victories too, and those are just as worth celebrating. And maybe it's that you post it on social media consistently. Maybe that it is you committed to something. Like, those are big wins, and you have to recognize that those matter just as much, because if you don't celebrate those, you're going to get discouraged. As soon as you stop, results get farther away. So how many of you have gotten like sick or stopped working out, and you like try to go on a run again and you're like, holy cow, I am dying. How did 2 days take this like a year's worth of training out of me? That is the same with your business. If you take your foot off the gas, I don't want you to burn out and like overload your life with coaching, but if you are not consistent, it is going to feel hard. And so you're going to get sick of me saying consistency is key, but that's just the case. So that is it. Comparison is a thief of joy. Just like with our, we can look around at people with different body images or body types or whatever and feel insecure or less than. It is really easy to start comparing your journey in this business with other coaches. And I want you to right now put your blinders on and embrace where you are at. Nobody has your story. Nobody has the baggage that you have. Nobody else has the gifts that you have. Like, you have a unique purpose. And it's really easy for me to look around and say like, well, so-and-so started the same time I did, and now she's the top coach. Well, maybe she wasn't working full-time with 2 kids who didn't sleep through the night. Like, maybe she had extra help or whatever. Just own your season and know that you are right where you're supposed to be, and you're growing there for a reason, and that is going to be the best. But still show up for yourself. And then don't overcomplicate it. Seriously, people overcomplicate this business. It's not hard. It's loving, getting results, sharing that, helping people get results, and helping them help more people. That's all it is. Like, keeping it super, super simple is so important. So that's a little pep talk. This is just really quick before I kind of give you next steps of very basic like breakdown, because I know some of you guys are numbers people. I am not one. But just to start to see commissions. And so my whole goal, and honestly, is that you would do more than this for your own sakes, but I want you to see what consistency with the Success Club thing that we're talking about will do for you. So if your goal is income, you can make close to, if not over, $1,000 in the next 3 months here for your family. And what would that do for you? What would an extra $800 do for you in this season? And that is just by basically helping 3 people every single month. And if you're doing more than that, or you hit Emerald and you start to unlock that compensation plan, that actually grows. But what happens with this business is there is a compound effect. It starts to build momentum. And as you help people get results and they help people get results, it all kind of comes together. And so with new customers coming in, you get that commission. And then the next month, they're on Shakeology still. You get paid for those orders as they come in. And then you help 3 new people. And it just kind of grows from there. And so that is why we always kind of stress this, because I really do want to make sure that you guys are getting paid for your efforts. And I think that's really important. As coaches, when we sign someone up as a customer, our work starts. It's not like I sell you a lip gloss and I'm done. It's like, no, now I'm committed to helping you. And I'm committed to helping you grow. And as a brand new coach, what you're going to do is you're actually going to get plugged into a challenge group, if you're not already, and you're going to be a participant in it, and people can jump in with you. So oftentimes, unless you want to just go for it on your own, which more power to you, you have everything you need to do that. But really what you're going to do most likely your next 2 months is invite to the challenge group that your coach is running. And they will help you, and you will kind of do it with your challengers, kind of right alongside them in the trenches with them, so to speak, so you can get used to it, you can be comfortable with it, so you're not having to lead all these things on your own unless you're ready to. But then after about a month or so, you will, and it's very easy to do. So that's kind of the very first thing. So what now? What next? Before I open up for questions, the very first thing is going to start going through our new coach training, and I'll show you guys that in a second here. Committing to the vital behaviors. So doing your program, drinking your shake, you're at least 10 minutes of personal development a day, whether that's reading a book or listening to a podcast or something. Starting to share your journey and inviting people to join you. Don't wait until you have the results or until you understand the compensation plan perfectly. You're not going to do that And people relate so much more to the journey than they do the destination. And I would just really encourage you to actually share the journey. If it was a hard day, if you ate all the ice cream in your freezer that night, and you feel like, share that. And you're not perfect. Life is not meant to be restricted. So sharing that whole process, and don't getting overwhelmed. Like I said, overwhelm is a sign that you don't know where to start. So we're just going to take it one step at a time, one post at a time, one goal at a time, one conversation at a time, and we're going to baby step you through this, and you're going to do great. So kind of some action steps for you is, for most of you who are plugged in, I know not all of you are doing Morning Meltdown, so if you're not doing that program, you, I think, have already had conversations with your coach, or you need to. But for a lot of you, it's going to be inviting to the Morning Meltdown group that is starting July 29th. We are starting prep for that on the 22nd, which is basically a week of going over the nutrition plan, helping people not feel overwhelmed and stressed, and just kind of going over all those resources. Understanding the requirements for the group, so talking to who your coach is for that. I always require, for the most part, that people get Shakeology or the performance line as they join a challenge group, because I know that nutrition is the hardest thing to control, and that is going to be the missing factor for a lot of people struggle with snacking, or sugar cravings, or just energy crashes. And I know 4 years of drinking it myself and experience that is going to help them hugely. And so I do require it for them for 30 days because I know that's going to give them the best results. But again, we can chat through those things. Understanding that objections are a part of the process, and I'll share in our new coach training a lot of example conversations of having with people where people, are like, oh, I can't work out because I'm pregnant, or it's going to be too much money before I've even told them how much it is. And I'm like, well, do you mind if I just share? And they're like, oh, that's actually really affordable. Like, just having those conversations, and again, we will help you do that. But that is kind of where your head is going to be. It's like, okay, I'm committing to this workout that's going to start July 29th, and I want at least 3 people to jump in with me. And I'm going to start sharing that journey on social media, and I'm going to just go with it, and it's going to be fun, and I'm going to connect with people who are liking those posts or who I think would be interested, or things like that. So my expectation of you as a new coach is would give yourself an hour a day, whether that is a full hour or 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes on your lunch break, and 30 minutes at night after your kids go to bed, but using your tracker and actually committing yourself for an hour to grow. Sharing, I'm going to challenge you to share your tracker on Thursdays with your coach, whether that's myself or someone else on our team, because that will help hold you accountable, and we can help you kind of see some of those blind spots that you might be missing. Committing to those vital behaviors that we've talked about. Being willing to fail. The huge thing with it, guys, is you're going to fail, and that is okay. Like, embrace it. It's part of the beauty of growth, and you're not going to be perfect. I still am not perfect. But just being willing to learn, being willing to grow, being willing to hear constructive criticism. If you are like, I don't know how to take a good picture, reach out and ask us for help. Like, we are here for you. And then again, helping 3 people by July 31st, because that will lock in Success Club for you for the month. That's going to be a really good kind of benchmark for you. And then these are a couple pages that I want to show you. So I just want to run through just some resources with you guys so you can see a visual, and then we'll have a couple minutes for questions here. So the Team Beachbody 411 page. I always forget if it's, oh, there we go. Team Beachbody Coach 411. So you can find these. These are all linked. But this is where Beachbody kind of shares coach announcements from corporate coming out. They have all sorts of really cool stuff and helpful, but also where they live stream those weekly national wake up calls on this page, and you can listen to it on podcast, but it just has great resources for you, and it's just really helpful. So if there's any sales or, I don't know, all sorts of announcements, it's very, very helpful. The Beachbody Champions page is a freaking gold mine, and what you guys are going to learn is, in this business, it's like the beautiful thing about it and the super overwhelming thing about it is there is like an information overload. There is more training, more tips, more resources, honestly, than you could ever use in your life. So there's no lack of that, but these are just some of the places. So the Beachbody Champions page actually has top coaches sharing their best practices. So let's say you work part-time. Heather is awesome. She's crushing her business, and she walks through exactly how she does her business while she's being a coach part-time. Jamie, same thing. Heather talks about how she works in 60 minutes. I think she has like 3 or 4 kids, so she kind of shares that. Allie is awesome. She's talking about how to talk about the business. So if you're struggling with anything, and in here they also have units, which are really, really helpful. So getting, your daily tracker, how do you share a cart? And these things are also in our new coach training, but I think it's just helpful to know where the resources are. They'll also be added to our team page, the Pineapple Empire, which is really exciting. And this is like our little mini hub as a team, as a small group. And this is where like you're going to connect with all these other amazing on our team, on our coaches. So like Megan shared a whole email here of what she sent out to people interested in Morning Meltdown. So that's awesome. So now I don't have to come up with an email because Megan shared it for me. It's kind of different. Do you have questions? Ember has a question here. Like, it's just a great, so if you are needing help with something, this is a great place to go. And over in the files section of our team page is also this very like important link to info. And this takes you to some of those pages I've already talked about, as well as some other info. Last but not least, what new coach training, to give you guys the inside scoop, is you are going to utilize this link that you will get sent for our new coach training. And it is a self-paced. It's designed to be completed in 2 weeks, but you can do it in a day. You can do it in a year. I don't care. But this is going to walk you through getting started, overcoming your beliefs, how to take pictures, social media, a lot of the things that we kind of glazed over in this call. This digs in a little bit deeper. So you can go through this, but then what is going to happen is you are going to get to, and I know this sounds overwhelming, but this is actually really the simplest way to do it, and it's what I found people really love. You're going to get added to the new coach mentorship. And this mentorship is going to be 4 weeks long. We're going to have 1 call a week where you can jump on live or listen to the recording and ask questions about how to make posts and when people say no and what to do. Like, just really quick every week to brainstorm. But this is going to be where we kind of share exactly what you should be focusing every day, and it'll be a place where you can check in on those vital behaviors and make sure you're moving forward. So it'll make sense once you're in it, but I just wanted you to see that is what you're going to be. So you're going to be in this mentorship group, but we'll be kind of referencing some of the material from that training site, and you will have access to all of that to go through on your own. So that is really kind of wrapping up. We have just a couple minutes left. Do you guys have any questions on anything? We have about 5 minutes, so I would love, like, anything is fair game that you're like, oh, this is unclear or overwhelming, or what about this? Like, anything at all you wonder about. Audrey has actually been a coach for a little bit, so I'm going to put you on the spot here. The tracker, the tracker starts on Thursdays because our week starts on Thursdays. In Beachbody, it's like Thursdays are our Monday because we get paid every Thursday. So the tracker, the way it's written, it starts on Thursdays. So I just kind of start fresh every Thursday in my mind. It's kind of weird, but that's how it's just set up. You can start it on Monday. I don't care. Does that help, Audrey? Audrey, I'm going to put you on the spot here because you've been a coach for, what, 2 months? Wow. And you've had a really successful start, I would say. What has been, can you give like just a couple pieces of advice of some things that have really helped you start well and be consistent, because you're very consistent. Like, what has been your biggest, I'd say your biggest tips? I'm totally putting you on the spot, I'm sorry.
Okay, I was like, what do I do? Do I unmute? Yeah, so I think that my biggest just focus has been, what Abby said, getting comfortable with just the learning curve of not really knowing what direction at first I was going to go in, but getting comfortable with kind of what I was about. And I think that coming into this knowing what I was about and what I was excited to share and kind of what I had to offer as like myself. Like she said, I love to meal prep. A big part of my story has been that I was a terrible chef. I got married young and knew how to boil water. I had no life skills at all. And so part of my story and that I share with people is because I was so unequipped, I've been able to learn, become equipped, and now equip others. So because I knew what I was about and what I was excited to share about, it helped kind of create what we talked about as far as like that content, that kind of just identity, I guess, for lack of a better term, in what I'm doing, so that like as I share now a resource and support for people, I'm able to partner a need for them because of how it's also helped me create sustainability. So that's where I would just suggest to start, is really sit down and figure out who you are and what you're about. Because if you can figure that out and you can be confident about that, because nobody can be that for you. You can only be yourself. So no one can do that better than you. Then once you get that, the logistics of how to express that, I feel like come just from doing it. And I started my Instagram account 3 years ago after I got pregnant, after I had my first son. And it was really just like a diary of my food that I ate. And I had been part of a nutrition program, and it's evolved now into me just sharing me and my story. And that's what people are connecting with. And I do that in a lot of different ways, but it started kind of with establishing my identity, and then sharing that.
I love that. That's a great tip. Thank you, Audrey. And you've really learned social media too. So definitely give Audrey a follow. If you No, you're good. Do you guys have questions on anything at all before I wrap it up? Anything else? I want to get one really quick soapbox thing, and then I'll let you guys go. But this is what I'm like super passionate about. It is kind of what Audrey just said, kind of triggered it, because I was like, oh, I didn't share this. Is where she said, like, nobody can find that for you. Nobody can be you. What I want you to do tonight, is take some time and actually like physically write down, if you need to, or type it out, or just think about it, your why. Every single one of you has a reason that you started this crazy thing called coaching. And even though you might be terrified or overwhelmed or unsure where to start, you started it for a reason. And that is going to be what pulls you through on the days where you don't want to show up or where you feel super discouraged. I can't even tell you guys how many times my first year as a coach, I wanted to quit, and I thought very seriously about quitting. And I loved it from day one, but it's normal. But every single time I thought, oh, maybe this isn't for me, or I'm not good at it, my why, and again, this is not going to be yours, this was mine, was thinking about, and I'm like going to start crying, but my little 2-year-old son going to daycare with a backpack that was too big for him, and watching him walk into there and knowing that he was going to struggle a little bit, and knowing that nothing in our lives was changing unless I made some sort of a change. The trajectory that we were on, that wasn't going to shift. And for us, even though I had my dream job and I loved what I did, it started to not be our dream anymore, as our life started to shift. And so on the days where I didn't want to show up, where I was tired, or I didn't want to make a post, or I felt like someone said no and I got discouraged or whatever, I would think about Caleb, and I'd be like, how can I not do this 30 minutes of business building? Like, how can I look at him and not try? Like, that is not doing any, just because I'm scared or someone said no, or I felt like I had a bad picture or what, like, how stupid is that? I can't not show up for him. And so now I work from home now. I was able to like make some big stinking dreams come true, but that took 2.5 years to do. It took 2.5 years to grow to that point where I was able to match my income and come home. So my why has shifted now a little bit. And as I've, grown, it shifts, but I want you to think for you, what is it right now that's that big, and maybe you haven't even articulated it, maybe it scares you too much to actually say out loud or to think, but I want you to think about like, what is that? Because that is going to be what's going to carry you through the next 4 weeks of new coach training. It's going to be what carries you through your whole business, and it's going to be what lights your soul on fire. And that's really, really important. And so I'm so excited to get to know you guys. I'm so excited for you guys to get to know our team. I'm biased, but it is a pretty special group of women. That honestly, you can't find a lot of girls out there who don't just tear each other down or get kind of catty. And like, this is a group that you want to be like your tribe, because it's really, really fun. So we will, for those of you guys who are my coaches, You can expect to see an email if you haven't gotten one. I know a few of you have gotten plugged in already, but you're going to be added to our little tracker group and get kind of those next steps. If you are not my coach and your coach is like not doing that, feel free to reach out to me and I can get you plugged in. But we will start kind of that process tomorrow, and then you can expect a once a week call on Wednesday evenings, just like half hour, 45 minutes to kind of go over and just get plugged into stuff and get these questions answered as we go through this, because it will be new for all of you guys. So does that sound good to everybody? Any last questions before I let you go? Wanted to make sure to keep this to an hour to respect your time. Let me take, and you can share your screen if you don't want to, but I'm going to take one quick picture because this is what we do on our team. So, all right, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to talk about how you're sitting on my toilet right now, and I'm on the floor, sweaty mess. So
you're cooking dinner, being like, this is so much fun. I'm like working and cooking.
I know, right? That's awesome. Well, for taking time tonight, and you can expect to see some emails from me after my kids go to bed, because that's when I work. One thing I will say is set business hours for yourself. I don't respond to every message, every text right away. Like, I'm going to unplug for the next hour and a half, and I'm going to take care of my family and get my kids to bed. And I will have messages, and I won't send you guys emails, and then I'll plug in again. And so respecting your time and your family's time is going to be really key to that as well. We don't want to burn out the people that we love. So I will talk to you guys. You guys will hear from me soon, and have an amazing evening. Bye.